I just never envisioned myself on YouTube. The fact of the matter is that I actually used to not like YouTube. Hey YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay, if you don't know already. And today I'm just gonna be doing like my typical makeup look and just chit-chatting with you guys about just life on YouTube, how I got here, and just some updates that I definitely want to fill you guys in on. So let's just get right into it. I feel like we don't have a lot of chill, sit down, get ready with me type of videos like this. So let's talk. I just never envisioned myself on YouTube. The fact of the matter is that I actually used to not like YouTube. Y'all better not flag me, but I used to not like YouTube, and it's not YouTube's fault. By the way, the products that I'll be using is gonna be down below in the description box. But I used to be a really big TV head, and I still do like watching TV and like streaming services and stuff. But I used to be a really big TV head, and YouTube to me was always a place where like you go to watch other people's tutorials. But when it got to a point where it became people's entertainment, where instead of TV they would go to YouTube, I didn't understand. I was just like, why do you care to watch real life videos? Like, why do you care to watch vlogs, travel vlogs, or like everyday vlogs, or like cleaning videos? Like, I just didn't understand it, because to me YouTube was a place that I would only go on if I needed a quick tutorial about something. And my best friends in high school, they would like binge on YouTube to the point where like they would be watching it till the wee hours of the morning, and they would be finding like funny videos and stuff. But to me it was just like, I don't find interest in this. Like, I really want to just turn on the TV and watch a sitcom. This was like in high school, and even in college I wasn't even checking for YouTube like that either. So one time, one of my friends, she would always ask me for like hair tips, and she was like,
"Girl, you need to be putting all this information on YouTube."
And I was just like, it sounded like she was really trying to give me good advice, but I just was not here for it. I was just like, ew, first of all, me being on camera talking to people, like I don't have no credentials. I am not a hairstylist. I kind of just figure things out on my own. But who's gonna want to listen to me? So that was like so many years back, and I just still, you know, I can't concentrate, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really have to just finish my eyebrows, and then I'll come right back to this. Now I really feel like I can concentrate. Anyway, so years passed by after that. Then another friend was just like, this advice that you give me is like so valuable. It needs to be on YouTube. Like, girl, you are wasting this good advice that you have. That's when I actually really started to consider it, because I'm like, all right, it wasn't just said once. Now at this point, I have multiple people, different friend groups, telling me that, you know, I need to be on YouTube. And at this point, when my second friend had said this to me, I had started slowly watching YouTube. Like, remember when I said I just didn't understand why people would get on YouTube? I had slowly started watching YouTube, but it wasn't like, you know, something I would watch as much as TV. Anyway, I actually started thinking about it, like, wow, all these people keep saying I need to be on YouTube, but at this point I'm like struggling with imposter syndrome, right? Because I'm like, what do I have to offer YouTube? I'm not trying to get on here and play myself. So I was just like, okay, let me just sit on this for a while. But I wasn't like serious about it. At this point I had been sitting on it for a very long time, and I was just like, you know what? If I say I'm gonna do it, I just need to end up doing it. Because if I'm just thinking about it, I'm never gonna do it. You know when you get those like spurts of like encouragement, or like those spurts of like, okay, let's just do this. I had one of those random spurts, so I was just like, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna buy my equipment. I'm gonna research like what kind of camera I need and backdrop and blah blah blah. So I ended up buying my equipment, and then it was sitting there for a while, and I was just always so nervous. I was just like, I know it's just gonna be me filming myself, but that freaked me out for some reason. One day I waited till my parents weren't gonna be home, and then I did my setup. And I decided to shoot my first YouTube video. And I kid you not, that video was probably like 5 minutes long, and it took me like 3 hours to film because I was so nervous. I was repeating things, like, cause I was just like, oh no, I stuttered, or like I messed up, or I said the wrong word, let me say that over again. And I was just like, oh no, I don't like the lighting, I don't like this, I don't like that. Looking back at it, lighting was horrible, backdrop definitely could have been better. A lot of things could have been better. It was just a hot mess of a first time. Like when I look back at it, I'm like, girl, I was sweating. I was by myself sweating because I was so nervous. I was just like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna say when they see this video? Like, are they gonna think it's lame? And then I watched myself back and I was like getting all cringy. But especially because this was like my first rodeo and I definitely wasn't used to seeing myself on camera. That was very like, ugh, this is weird. Anyway, that happened. And then from that point on, I was really inconsistent on YouTube. I was like posting videos here and there. I didn't know what to say. I didn't really have a focus at that point. You know, it's just like, I don't fully know why I'm on here. So, you know, I spent a lot of my time just posting random content here and there. And I would spend a lot of my time trying to mimic the YouTubers that I already followed, which is a mistake because you want to find your own niche and your own focus. You don't want to be like copying off others. But I'm be honest, I didn't know what to do and it just did not work out for me. Those videos were a miss. And then one day I posted this tall video. I think it was a boohoo video, and that was really successful. And then that's when I knew, I think this is where I need to start going with it, because I never thought that the tall content was ever gonna be a thing. I was just like, I only know about 3 tall girls out in the world. It's just not enough of us to be like checking for this content. I was so wrong. And this is one thing I do like about, you know, social media, is like you end up finding communities of people who are just like you, but you probably wouldn't have known that there's so many people out there like you. Because imagine, like, you're growing up, you probably have 1 or 2 tall women in your life, and then it just feels like, you know, we're so few and far between, but there's like so many of us out there. So eventually I found my groove on YouTube. It's not only tall content though. I, you know, try to stick with fashion and natural hair because those are still my interests. And if the video flops, it flops. Like, that's the thing with YouTube. You kind of have to just like try certain things sometimes. Of course, you can do your research and see what people are looking for, but sometimes some videos don't take off until several months later. Anyway, never saw myself on YouTube, but here I am. First, I was just kind of getting on here because people advised it. Then when I started getting certain comments like, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was like someone else out there like me who struggles with stuff like this. I was just like, oh, I'm helping people, you know, in some way, shape, or form. God is using me to like bring some sort of consolation and help and comfort to other people. And whatever I have to offer, it doesn't matter how small it may seem, I can share that with somebody, and for them it can be such a big deal that can change your lives. Like, that's how I see it. Some people are just like, oh my gosh, I used to be so down about this thing or about my height, and then I saw your video, and I'm just like, all glory to God. I'm so happy that this is helpful to people. It's one of those things where it's just like, I ended up finding out the reward in it, and sometimes that would honestly be my motivation. So that's my getting into YouTube story. I know it's kind of random. Sometimes you end up places in life you just never expect, and you just don't always understand why you're there when you first get there. Sometimes it might take a while for you to understand why you're at the job you're at, or why, you know, you're in the position that you're in, or why you're in the family that you're in. It's not always like a aha moment right away. Sometimes it gets revealed to you and you're like, wow, so that's why I'm here. Like, you find the purpose pretty much in what you're doing. Once you do, it's such a motivator, because now you're not just doing what you're doing for nothing. There's always a reason behind it, and it just helps you to stay focused. Now this YouTube thing for me, it's an opportunity, you know, to be of service to others. That's how I see it, because what I have, I can give to you. The little even that I know, I want to share that, you know, to be helpful to people. Some people look at YouTubers and they're like, oh, they're just doing it for money. Let me tell you something. You do not automatically just start making money off YouTube unless you're one of those people who took off overnight. You had a viral video. Because I wasn't consistent at first, that definitely delayed me making money off YouTube. But trust and believe, nobody can tell me I'm doing this for money. Like, nobody can tell me, because there's so much work that goes on in the background. You can literally be like a one-man show, as in you can be producer, director, editor, promoter, social media manager, all in one. And if you don't get paid all those salaries, like, nobody can say that you're doing it for the money. money. It can take a while to make good money off of YouTube. Depends on a lot of things, but let's just say I'm not here for the money. I actually enjoy making videos. Although sometimes I do feel lazy to start. When I'm doing it, I enjoy it. When I edit, I enjoy it. It's tiring sometimes, and sometimes I procrastinate, but I enjoy it. And then definitely when I get to interact with y'all, I enjoy all that stuff. So it's really just like so rewarding in so many ways. It's just interesting that I ended up here. It got to a point too where I was like just really nervous to be a YouTuber, because I started to realize like the responsibility in it. This YouTube thing and being on social media, if you're gonna have a presence, you have to be careful. Not in the sense of like you can't say what you believe. Yes, it's your platform, but at the same time, people listen to you and people take what you say. I started to realize that like what I'm putting out there is affecting people, whether big, whether small. You just never know who's watching. You never know who is being inspired by your videos, being discouraged by your videos. And I was just like, this is actually not no joke. It's much bigger than me. Some people watch certain content and they leave feeling worse about themselves. Sometimes it's just gonna be inevitable because you cannot please everybody. So in those circumstances, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? Because there's gonna be times where people just take things the wrong way, and that's on them. If I put a scripture up and it offends somebody, I don't know how to help you, boo. Anyway, I just started to realize that like being on social media, it's not a small thing, okay? Other people are really very much affected by it. Especially if you take kids these days. When I say kids, I mean like teenagers and preteens who get on social media and they're heavy on social media, and the age that people are getting on social media is just dropping. We be having 7-year-olds on social media. There are all these youngins who are watching and they really soak in what is done and said on social media, and sometimes their whole outlook on life and even themselves is based off of what happens on social media. So that's what I'm saying, like we got to be careful because social media has a lot of impact. We need to start using it for good. We need to start using it to encourage, to uplift people, to speak the truth, to be helpful. Being on social media, it can be like a two-edged sword. It can be good, it can also be bad. So with that being said, I do see myself on YouTube for a while. This is just based off of what I perceive and what I think. Clearly, I don't know the future. But at the same time, what I did want to fill you guys on is that I will be leaving YouTube for a short period of time. There are some personal matters that I must tend to in this time, and I have to prioritize. Don't get scared, guys. I'm not leaving for good. I very much still love being on YouTube. I'm probably going to be updating you guys on the YouTube community tab. So if you are not already subscribed, please make sure that you do. I never really took like an extended break from YouTube, so this is like new for me. I don't want y'all going anywhere. Stay put, okay? Like my return is gonna be soon. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Drusilla Shay, okay? Don't leave me hanging now. So I'm done with my look. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also, I would love to hear from you guys down below. What are some of your conceptions about YouTubers? Did anything I say resonate with you, or did you agree or did you disagree with anything that I said? I would love to hear down below in the comments. Let's make this a conversation. Please make sure that you hit that red subscribe button. And while you're at it, you should definitely, now out of all times, turn on that bell notification button so that when I post next, you will be up to date. I appreciate you all. I really, really value your support. God bless you, and I will see you guys in my next video. We're gonna reconnect soon. Deuces.